All right, guys, I am David with Transparency Fitness Live and my co-host, Mr. Zane, to the right over here. And then Joshua Simpson showing up.
Hello.
Big time
Yeah.
athlete here.
Not
Personal trainer.
yeah.
Not really. Spartan competitor, like legit Spartan competitor, not a person that did a Spartan like one time.
Yeah, I did quite a few. You think
How many Spartan races have you done?
Total? I don't have an exact count. I know in 2019, which was my biggest competitive year, I think I did 35 Spartan races just that year. I think total races, like counting like just local stuff that I ran that year too, is about 54 races.
When did you start? Like when did you go from, I guess like 2019? Like when did you start ramping up? Was it 2019? Was that like your first Spartan race? Because I remember when we were working out and you were teaching that bossing class, how to properly boss in life.
Bossing all day.
Josh knows how to boss you to the
right.
boss you to the win. Boxing class. I remember you guys were talking about doing Spartan because we had talked about doing a team Spartan race, and then you guys just like started doing them without us, and then next thing I know it was like
me and Aaron went to
was it the overnight one?
Nope, we went to Perfect North.
Okay.
And that was the first Spartan race I ever did. It was me and him running, and I still remember looking at him. I was like, man, it's only 4 miles. How bad can it be? It can be pretty bad. Because it was, immediately it was on the ski slopes there at Perfect North, and you just immediately started going up, and it just took your soul. And
So was it it was straight incline?
You went up the ski slopes and then down them and then up them, and they gave you a bucket. You carried it.
Was it on snow, or was it during the summer when it? Okay. But, and then they have all the obstacles. Okay, are the obstacles going to be the same for every race, or are there certain obstacles that are always there?
The bigger distance-wise the race, the harder the obstacles get. So now they've really focused. So they're trying to make Spartan Race an Olympic sport. So they are, I don't know what the word for it is. So they're trying to make they changed all the distances, because sometimes you go out for a sprint, which was their smallest distance, and it'd still be 6 miles. So now they're like, every single time you run a sprint, it's a 5K. Every single time you run a super, it's a 10K. And every time you run a beast,
so they are trying to be more uniform over time,
standardized type thing to make it an Olympic sport. So that gives you the obstacles are becoming like that too. So at every sprint, you have like level 1 obstacles. Then at every super, you get a little bit of upgrade on your obstacles, so they get a little bit more difficult, and you get more, and then extra mileage, and the same thing with the super. It just times and times and times. So your easiest one will be your sprint.
Is there one easier than that? Because that's the one I want to do.
It's the kids race.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in. I am in on that.
Full faith in you on that. I think it's
Zane and I would probably still lose to the kids. That's the sad thing.
There's some quick ones. Sure. There's some quick ones, especially in the heat.
So aside from the distances, are there also levels of competition as to your personal experience and the level that you can compete at?
So there is the open. That's just anybody. You just sign up and go. There's no real rules. They tell you what you're supposed to do and everything, but like if you fall off an obstacle, you're supposed to do 30 burpees if you fail an obstacle. And in the open, if you do that and just walk off, it's fine. It's whatever.
Oh, so they don't enforce it in the open. But when it's a competitive event, because I watched the 2019 or 2020, I guess the championships.
Yeah.
Is it called the championships?
Yep,
Championships. World championships.
There's world championships and national championships.
Miracle, somebody was the female
Nicole
name.
Miracle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That girl just kept going.
She has an Olympic running background.
Okay.
Like qual, I don't know exactly her story, but she is super duper fast.
Yeah, and I can't remember the guy that won that year. But I sat there for 2 hours, and it actually it took me.
Robert Killian.
Robert Killian, yep, that's who won it, I think.
And he's I think he's still in some capacity, but he's Army Ranger.
Okay.
Just a stud, and ran for the Army, then running forever.
But who I really want to applaud is whoever those camera guys are.
Oh
my God!
Yeah,
how do they keep up?
I would die so many times, like running like that and not looking at your feet.
Yeah.
God, I fall staring at the ground.
Well, I see the guys. I mean, they're going up these hills, putting their hands on their knees and looking down to make sure they're getting good, solid footing and moving as fast as they can.
And keeping that pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of control, especially for like a 14-mile race. Come on.
Like I still think CrossFit may be one of the more difficult competitive sports,
Yep.
but if you're not a runner, the Spartan Race is 10 times worse.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what it boils down to, and that's your difference. For the competitive thing, so there's open age group. Your age group, they switched it from, it was just called competitive back in the day, and then they switched it to age group. So then you're competitive, you got all your rules, everything's legit, but it's like your lower division of athletes, and then there's elite. Your top 10 guys that are winning they're paid professional athletes, and they're on the Spartan Pro team, stuff like that. So definitely not there, but. Yeah, I mean, it was the age group guys are. I mean, they're legit. They're fast, and they have.
Now, is there like so is the Open just anybody can compete in the Open?
It's anybody and everybody. Anybody can sign up for the competitive.
So did you do it? Did you compete in your age group, or did you compete against everybody across the board?
I did my age group.
Okay.
So. I mean, they give you the ranks for everything, but when you're in the age group, you're in your age group. So, like, if you podium versus your age group.
Okay, so you don't podium like an overall kind of. So, did you ever compete at the overall level, or did you always just kind of?
So in elite, there's no age group. So
okay.
You just have your.
Because you were 2019, you were racking up points. I mean, you got invited to the Worlds,
like
right?
I qualified, but it's still all in the age group. But I qualified nationally, and then went to the World Championships.
Did you end up going to Greece?
No, I didn't go to Greece. The World Championships was in Lake Tahoe.
Okay, what was the Greece event? Because that was a big one for you.
They do it every year. I didn't do the Greece, and it's just the World Championship trifecta.
Okay.
So you run all three there, and then mainly
run all three. Oh.
Yeah, so a trifecta is a sprint, a super, and a beast, and that's a trifecta.
Have you done those before?
Yeah, so the cool ones are like
the
single day ones where you do them you'll run your beast on like a Saturday, and then you'll run the super and the sprint pretty much back to back. But it's just it's a brutal.
So and is it all the same or similar obstacles, just longer routes, right? Or are they so one is easier versus the other one?
So they pretty much just shrink the course and then shrink it again.
Oh, so you do the hardest one first?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is good.
Yes.
Because you get the big mileage out of the way.
So how many times have you missed the spear toss?
Oh man, I've actually been.
How many burpees have you done because?
Overall, I think I've been like the gods have blessed me with. I'll call some of that luck. I really like the first time I threw it, I hit it. Just not knowing anything, just random, just zero.
You just didn't want to do 30 burpees or 25 burpees.
I never want to do 30 burpees, but it just happens. It happens quite a bit, especially like I was telling you before. If there's any kind of moisture or precipitation, it
throws you off.
It's a long race. Some of those guys can hold on to everything no matter what, just because they have huge hands and they can wrap around bars.
So have you run in cold weather? Have
Yep.
you done? So one of the things that I noticed when I was watching the World Championships was like the way these guys protected their hands so that it didn't get wet. Yep. So they'd even protect their gloves. They'd take their gloves off. They would do whatever they could to to keep those hands dry.
Yep.
Because apparently it gets miserable. I mean, they're running how many?
At Lake Tahoe in 2019, the World Championships, there was a snowstorm.
Okay.
California. I can't remember what month it was, but it was during the summer. There was a swim at the top of the mountain.
Yes.
And it was like -19 wind chill.
They had talked about taking the swim out, right?
Because they delayed it, and we were just sitting there waiting. I'm like, just take the swim out. Just take the swim out. No. So because the water was warm enough. The water was actually warmer than it was outside. So I think
getting back out,
dude. Terrible. It turned into a survival game rather than a race. I was like, well, do I die up here? I don't know.
That, and then they had to carry those 160 pounds. Was it 160 pounds in sandbags?
Sandbags.
They had to go all the way down and then come up and around and come back up.
Two of them, and they're 80 pounds each. That was the worst sandbag carry I've ever had. It was.
So you've done the full Lake Tahoe. You've done that? Okay.
Yep, that was my world championship. But it was really like it came down to, so that water part, because it was only at I want to say it was at mile 4, so it was early. You had 10 more miles to go after you got out of the water. Anything you take with you gear wise has to go in the water with you. You can't leave stuff outside and then come back and get it. So like if
your gloves, everything.
So you can bring whatever you want, but it's got to stay
Can
with
you. Not
you.
put a wetsuit on underneath?
It's enough. You could, but you go carry it and run around with a wetsuit. Then you'll die of heat stroke when you get to the bottom of the mountain.
fair enough.
Right. But like if you didn't bring stuff to waterproof your stuff with, so like as soon as I got up there, I had plastic bags with me and rubber bands.
Right.
So I took most of my clothes off. And then I had...
He had his own cheerleading squad.
It was a whole situation. Whole situation.
Carrie was not happy.
Big day. Big day. Carrie got hyperthermia.
What?
Yeah, she ran it and got hypothermia.
She would, though.
Yep.
She would be the person that would just be like, you know
great.
what? I'm just going to push through. I don't care about my body.
Well, I was
and
waiting
I'm really
on her,
happy about life right now.
Waiting on her forever at the end of the race. And I was like, where's she at? And then finally, like, just some random number called on my phone, and it was her. And I was like, why do you have a phone right now? And she was like, I'm in the medical tent. Yeah, hypothermia. I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, it was good. But it was like, there was tons of people who just didn't finish that race.
So was that the worst race you've ever done?
I think like elements wise, yes. The race itself was not anything. I mean, it was
like physically you were able to get through it. It was the mental aspect of like some of the stuff you had to deal with.
I was prepared. Like I knew to waterproof my stuff. I got in the water, swam. I feel like I did all that right. It was still super brutal. It was crazy. And then you had the best of the best of the best there. So it was all the.
Well, how is it running against the best? I mean, technically speaking,
humbling.
If you look at all the amount of people that do a Spartan race in a year, I would almost consider you one of the best. Like you're that top 5% probably.
I'm probably not. I mean, it's just like when you put all the best together, there's a lot.
Right.
And then even in your age group, so like you're taking the year's age group winners and you're putting all of them together. I mean, they're all studs. So instead of you being different among a pack of 100 dudes that ran all the other races, they're all like you, if not better. So yeah,
it's just like shit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, I'm really not.
I thought I was really good at this.
I was really good. Now they're all here. But yeah, it's great, and the camaraderie, and I met a great bunch of guys that
it does these sports like CrossFit and the Spartan races, like the communities I feel like that's a huge part of what makes
absolutely
the sport is the actual community behind it.
And I'm a solo sport guy. Like I liked Spartan more than Tough Mudder because Tough Mudder was in my mind was more team based, and I was like, I just want to go out here and run by myself.
By the way, Chris, if you could, I don't know if you could pop up some of those pictures that Joshua sent us, so that for the few people out there watching in the future, could kind of see some of what Josh went through. I think we might even have some videos that we can play that you sent over.
I can send a few.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'll get them right up.
Thank you.
We might even have a video of the spear throw.
I do have the spear in the ring.
I was really hoping to see some burpees, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I
don't have any burpee. I wanna pull your burpees up, and I wanna break them down and tell you how your burpees could be better and more efficient.
It could be so much better.
So let's talk about training. Like I'd love to hear. I remember some of the training. Like when you first, I feel like I was still working out in the same gym as you when you first started getting, I feel like, serious about the Spartan. Yeah. Because I remember you get on that assault bike, and I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't like fall apart because you literally.
It did eventually.
Did it? Did you actually finally run it to the ground and kill it? Because
I'm not gonna say it was me, but
it was you.
It did eventually die. Just when my body was the most fresh, so like it was mostly like grip stuff.
Okay.
Before I break anything down, I would do like just hanging from bars or carrying kettlebells just to wear my grip out, just so it could be completely as strong and it was best.
Is grip extremely important for the obstacles?
I think grip would be the second most important thing next to running.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you can't hold yourself up on those things, because I would say maybe half of the obstacles are hanging.
Okay. Or some kind of moving. I saw a bunch of like shuffling, side shuffling, but you had to have really good grip.
Yeah, and that thing moves. So as you pull it, it moves. So it shakes your whole body. So if you don't have your core tight, everything swings, and if you swing, you're done.
You're done. You're doing some burpees.
Yeah. So it's that, and then just kind of like the best way I could mimic things, because of course I didn't have those obstacles. So like the one you're talking about, I was like, which was is still to this day my worst obstacle.
Really?
It's called the twister, and it just it's tough. It's tough for me, and sometimes like they make it extra long, and I'm like fuck, there's an extra level every single time. Like
there was one last one at the last race. Yeah. What the hell?
And it does, and they'll just randomly add, like there's 4 sections now instead of 3, which is I think it's 6 to 8 more little grippies. And I'm like, hey, I just
and
need like
it's gotta be ridiculous when it's cold.
Less. Oh, it's terrible. And my hands get real crappy in the cold anyway. Like I just lose dexterity in them. I'm sure that's a normal thing anyway. But yeah, it's just then you're like, you don't even know if you're closing your hand right. And that's what happened to me at the World Championships too. Like I made a mistake, huge mistake. I missed the spear, which I wasn't that mad about. I was like, it's fine, it's still early.
Right.
You know, the spear's not at the end, so like you didn't just ruin your race. So it was early, plenty of time. It was a long race. In my head, because I was wearing gloves, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the burpees in the gloves.
The gloves got soaking wet, didn't they?
Soaking wet, and then my hands got wet, so it made 0 sense. So
but if you'd taken the gloves off, then your hands would have gotten wet.
But I could have dried my hands. I can't now.
That's true.
Now my gloves
running,
are
I guess
garbage.
if you run, they could have dried and put them back on.
And now they are soaking wet, which they don't provide warmth anymore.
Didn't you have
what I needed?
the barbed wire thing, where you had to climb over the barbed wire? A lot of.
I think I sent a picture of that, which I'm all snow bunnied up.
Because that was right after the spear, right?
That was. So the spear was a gauntlet, and that's why it sucks so much, because it was the spear after I ruined my hands, so now they're numb and wet, and then I'm just like mad about my gloves, because now I have to carry the gloves and stare at them when they're useless. I'm like, you guys you're just going to be on this journey with me, not doing anything, just being a bunch of assholes. So then the next one was the Olympus wall, which is like a slanted wall. It has a hole, a chain with a ball on it. The ball's sometimes there, it's sometimes not. And a rock climbing grip.
I think I've seen that.
As soon as you mount it, you got to stay vertical, so it's all climby.
Yeah, I think we have that video if you want me to play it.
Do it.
Yeah, let's throw that on for the
peeps.
All the peeps that are watching and will be watching in the future.
Right.
All right, we're gonna do that. It's just taking a second to load.
Okay, cool. Can we?
Keep talking. I'll do the hand.
Can we channel that audio so that the audio, at least people can hear the audio?
I'll make sure we grab that as well. But
okay.
you all keep going. I'll raise my hand when it's time.
All right, thank you very much, Crush.
So I got about like a section through it, and then hands were just numb, garbage. Fell off that. So then now that's 60 burpees immediately, 30 and 30, and then the next one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you do 30 every time you fail.
How tired were you?
So, well, at that point, I really wasn't that tired. I was just mad.
Right.
You know, because because I was just thinking about those gloves. I was like, man, just little tactical errors along the way.
You need backup gloves.
I just need to not be stupid.
Yeah.
Just take the gloves off.
Well, so when I watched the video for the Worlds for 2019, they were making fun of guys like you. They were literally like, yep, that's another person that's doing burpees in gloves. They're really going to hate doing that.
Oh, I watched it and heard. I was like, yeah, I was there, bro. Yeah, I did that. Why don't you send me a text?
Yeah, right?
Josh, take your gloves off. Yeah, that would be great. And then immediately went into the multi-rig, which is ring, straight bar, and then it was rope.
There was a rope one with water. So you could miss the water if you jumped out and grabbed the rope?
They took that out.
Okay.
So they did it. It was so weird because the elites did it and then they canceled it because I don't understand if I don't know exactly their logic behind it. I don't know if it was like because then they're double dipping you in water and it's extra cold, or just one time in water is enough.
You should be happy though.
Oh, I was thrilled, but it was like a mind fuck because I was sitting there and I was like, oh, that's sweet. They took this out. I bet they took the swim out. No. They didn't take a swim that way.
You got to the swim, and
but it was fine. I counted my blessings.
Wasn't was the sandbag right after or right before the swim?
The sandbag was right before the swim.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. I mean, it looked like a war zone.
Oh, I bet.
People just laying down, like just gave up on life. Just sandbags.
Did people just give up?
everywhere.
Did they not complete it?
I mean, there was on that particular race, there was tons of did not finish.
Really? So how did you end up placing?
I don't even remember. I didn't do well. I think it was in like either the 20s or 50s. It wasn't an amazing race.
20s or 50s out of the 200 people, out of the best of the best for your age
I
group.
stopped and stayed up at the swim for a hot minute, just helping people. Like, I gave some people my bags after I got done, because there was, like, I still remember this girl was standing there, and she was just shivering, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I was like changing my clothes and stuff, and she was like, well, I don't know how to waterproof my stuff, and I was like, well.
Oh, you physically brought waterproof bags.
And I just brought Ziploc baggies with rubber bands, but that works.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap ass, but
I'm right there with you.
It works like a charm. But I was like, well, I mean, you can use these bags. And she's like, are you serious? I was like, no, it's just a sick game I play later. later. Hope you freeze. No, but like, so I stayed up there and helped a couple, probably for like at least 7 minutes. So that's a big time in a race. But it was well worth it.
So did you just tell yourself, I would have placed in the top 5, but I was helping people, which is way more important.
I would not have placed in the top 5. I might have gained 10 spots.
Yeah.
Maybe. But that's who I am as a person anyway, so that's just the way
it is.
That's
You
the way
are a
cookie
helper
crumbles.
first.
Yes.
You are
yes, sir. That's the way it goes.
I miss having you as the boss coach, aka boxing.
The boss coach.
The boss coach. The boxing coach. Your boxing classes were like the best, man.
I loved it. It was great.
Except for the one time that I got yelled at because
yelled
apparently I was too energetic.
Too much fun.
I was having too much fun and giving out too many high fives. And
surely not.
Oh my
that
gosh!
Sound like you at
yeah,
all?
not
Having
at
too
all.
much fun?
Yeah, you can barely get Zane to talk during a workout. Like seriously, I have to stick a camera in his face and be like, Zane,
Say
talk.
words.
And he's
Say
like,
words.
the workout's good, guys. Okay, he talked.
Car
Good
ran
enough.
real fast. I don't know do that.
All right. So start your morning 5 a.m. You hit the oatmeal. You got the raisins. Got to have the raisins.
Boom, coffee and out the door. Just
Okay.
black coffee.
So what are you getting up at? Like, are you getting up at 5? No, you have your first session at 5.
Yeah, well, I live so close, so it's like a rock throw away from the gym. So that was super convenient.
Were you mostly just training at Icon then, or Wildcat at the time? Was that the only place you were training?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, what do you do after that?
Yeah, so then train a couple people. Then I would do the Spartan specific stuff. Like I said, it was mostly grip, or sometimes like the video that I had, I'd try to throw a spear through a ring, something like that. That wasn't really physical, but just kind of it still took time.
Well, you need those repetitions so that it makes it easier.
And just building upon Spartan, very specific. Trying to think of the word for it, technical stuff.
Okay.
Then after that, I would either have a lifting thing or like a functional situation.
Did you still do strength training then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was very.
So as you were passing other guys up on Spartan, like, see those guns?
That's what I was getting ready
That's
to say.
what real men.
100% for vanity. The only stuff I really worked on, like just strength and bodybuilding wise, was like I did biceps and chests. They're like, what are you doing? It's because it looks good, stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Duh.
I may not win this race, but I'm going to be the biggest guy that finished this
fabulous
race.
out here. Yeah, it'd be great.
No one looks this jacked with mud all over them like me.
Like, that's why you're slow. Shut up. It doesn't matter. What else?
So this is how warm it is in this gym, is that the computer does not want to play the video and run Streamlabs at the same time. But what I will do is I will post all that content onto Facebook after it's over, so people
that
can
works.
see it, and I'll just kind of distribute it out throughout the week, up until our next podcast next week. So if you're listening, stay tuned, because you're gonna get to see some cool stuff that Josh sent us.
Sweet. So yeah, I guess we'll post some stuff throughout the week. Thanks, Crush.
Absolutely.
So people can see, they're gonna listen to this and they're like, oh, I need to. this Josh sounds sexy. I need to see these things.
That's right.
You didn't send me any videos of you doing burpees, did you? I don't think so.
I'm sure there's probably got to be one. I did a lot of burpees.
I'm gonna make him give me some burpee videos. We're gonna. If not, we're gonna reenact it.
Fair enough.
We're gonna set it up. We'll make a video. We'll reenact the burpees.
I'm down.
I mean, I could just move the camera.
It's true. It's true.
So a lot of burpees. Do you practice burpees?
Absolutely. So
did you really? Did you actually?
When I first started, that was kind of the key. Like I knew things that I would fail in the beginning, so I was like, okay, like you're gonna fail that until you just get better at it. But what is the shortcut to that? Do 30 burpees real fucking fast.
So how? Okay, so one, what do they consider a complete burpee? Like, is it literally just getting like falling down, getting the chest to the ground?
It's full extension of the hips, jump off the ground, hands above the head. So you do have to stand up.
When you come up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely. So
but how far down do you have to get?
Chest on the ground.
So your chest has to touch the ground. So it doesn't matter if you go in a push-up position or you just kind of go like let your arms.
You can splat.
Okay, is that what they call it? It's called splatting?
I don't know. I just made that up.
That's good.
I like the
splat.
That's the noise I make when I
30
just
splat
drop
burpees
Splat.
now.
Yep. At any amount of energy that
I'm gonna start adding that
use
to my workouts. I'm gonna be like 30 splat burpees.
30 splats. Get them. Go now.
Chest to the ground. No push-up position.
Yep. Chest hurt. Go. Yep.
Okay, so how fast did you get burpees? How fast did you get?
Man, I was there in the beginning, because like the worse you are,
you get winded. I mean, you do 10 burpees straight. I'm winded.
Then you have to, in theory, pick up your run again.
Yeah. Zane, you can talk more. I know that both of us can talk. Zane just comes in with his little tidbits.
But I guess the rest of the day, it would be train some more people, and then I would have the either functional or strength type situation, which would be like the bulk of the workout, based on what I was doing, and it was all Spartan focused. So whatever I did in some way helped.
You do a lot of high reps then for endurance?
Not exactly. My endurance level was I'd still stay in like the 10 to 12 range, but I would add a cardio piece with it, because I didn't need high reps and strength.
Like in between sets, were you doing cardio?
Yeah. So like I'll do 10 kettlebell swings, 10 heavy kettlebell swings, and then a salt bike for 10 calories as fast as you can go.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you do this.
Yep. So just bounce, because that's what happens. So it's like doing 30 burpees.
Right.
And then maintaining that run immediately. So it's going from like a controlled movement. That'd be your strength movement.
Right.
And then immediately just tearing ass.
That makes sense though, because I mean you got to do that.
And it's hard adaptation to switch back and forth, especially then when you start adding like the longer races. So now you come in and out of that for 14 miles. And it's tough. And the better you get at the obstacles, even if you don't fail them, the faster you get. So the higher it brings your heart rate up, like now with the bucket, you start to run because you're better, you're stronger.
Right. So
then it, like training all that, like as you get better, it also gets harder to train for almost, because like you're getting better. So like then you have to control your heart rate because you're going faster. So it's going to go faster too. You just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So it was interesting just kind of going through it all. Yeah.
So what else did you eat throughout the day? Because I know at one point in time you had told me that you didn't even really have a diet. You just ate food when you needed it, and you made sure it was healthy food, and it was enough protein and fats and like carbs. But
smaller meals, grilled chicken and broccoli and mixed vegetables was really the jam. I never did the rice thing.
It's always the jam.
Yeah, it's super easy, and like I'm not a big foodie guy anyway, so like I don't need variety. I don't need like spices. I don't need.
So envious because I love food so much.
Oh, if I was just like by myself all the time and nobody ever ate with me, it would just be like the most boring stuff ever, and I just would not care.
Let me guess: grilled chicken and broccoli.
Easy peasy, done and done. And that was pretty much it. At night, I would add normally like I would probably have. So I got my breakfast, and then throughout the day, I would have 2 to 3, definitely 2, possibly 3 little servings of grilled chicken and broccoli. Sometimes one of those grilled chicken and broccolis would turn into like a salad with tuna on it or some kind of meat. Grilled chicken.
Grilled chicken on grilled chicken?
Grilled chicken on grilled chicken.
So
like
I'm not
shredded
seeing a whole
chicken.
lot of carbs. Is the oatmeal pretty much your only the beginning of the day?
The oatmeal, and then you got half the bagel, and that was my big chunk of carbs. And then at night I would have either mashed cauliflower or sweet potato.
Okay.
That's pretty
much
much
it. Did you
it.
carb up before races though? I mean,
a little bit, but the little ones like the super and the sprint.
Right, those make sense.
It's not needed.
Yeah.
You're not. It's just you're good or you're not. Like if you're eating normal, and like a lot of, in my mind, if you're training for those races, that's what my body's used to eating, and I can do these big long training days. So what's the difference on race day? Like I know I can do it. So I don't feel like I need extra at that point.
Right.
I shouldn't need extra.
Well, I mean, there's that nutrition wise. I mean, the carbs are the fuel for that specific type of energy that you're going to expend. So that's why I was just surprised that there wasn't more carbs.
Yeah, I didn't
in your
have
diet.
big like. So like every time almost before a longer race when I was traveling, it was mostly because I was traveling and like I didn't pack a bunch of stuff in a cooler, but I would go to Chick-fil-A and I'd get the grilled chicken nuggets. And then I would get the
which actually, besides being a little greasy, they're
great.
They're quick, healthy food.
Yeah, 100%. I get them all the time. And then I would get the that cold wrap, the chicken wrap. So the wrap has the carbs, some extra carbs, and good to go. Same breakfast. I would always bring my breakfast, the exact same breakfast.
Well, there's the thought process that I've read on the internet that if you're just feeding your body a bunch of protein, it will learn to just adapt in using the protein efficiently, and that there are people that believe that you don't necessarily need those carbs, that your body can pull it off of the protein.
Yeah, I don't think I think you can use it if it's there, and I would definitely have a little bit of sugar of some sort, like 30 to 45 minutes before I ran, just for that extra little, because I normally didn't have hardly any actual like fake sugar, so I'd get like some Gatorade right before I ran.
Electrolytes, stuff like that.
And it would just like.
Do you like sugar? Are you a sugar fan?
No, I mean I don't hate it. I just I know it's bad for you, and I don't necessarily
crave it like some people.
I've never been a big sweets guy, thank God. Yeah. But like, I think my downfall in food would be like I love burgers. So like a good
burgers are fine. Just don't put the bread there, or get some Ezekiel bread.
Then I can't sop up the mayonnaise.
Okay. So the real truth is he loves mayonnaise, and it's just the delivery method is the burger.
Whatever vessel I can get it to my mouth on,
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, burgers with mayonnaise are amazing.
Any kind of sauce, just like sauce.
I love condiments.
Yeah,
ranch is my like.
I have no problem with ranch.
I put that on everything, literally.
I burn out on ranch, and I
can't.
To Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue.
Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue.
Holy moly!
Very good.
Yeah.
What's your condiment, Zane?
Probably Montgomery Inn barbecue sauce.
Really?
That's my go-to.
That is
I've had that barbecue sauce before.
Yeah.
It's a solid barbecue.
And now they
sauce.
make the Chick-fil-A sauce you can just buy at the Kroger.
I saw that the other day. That's dangerous.
Yes, it is.
I didn't know you could. That's awesome.
It's better than it is healthier than on the back of the liar label.
The liar label?
Yeah.
Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to get me to buy it, right?
Exactly. There's so much room for shenanigans on this. But it is nutritionally on the label healthier than the Sweet Baby Ray's and ranch.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
I'm still gonna eat the ranch.
It might not be.
I love ranch.
Chick-fil-A honey mustard, by the way, healthier than all of the above.
I believe it.
Oh yeah, honey mustard.
That's a great go-to.
I love honey mustard. Yeah, I didn't.
McDonald's French fries. McDonald's ranch, dipping it in there.
I don't know if I've ever had McDonald's ranch.
They have the best ranch, hands down.
Really?
You can't buy better ranch at the store.
I was like, they're spicy.
But I think it's because it is packed full of sugar. It has to be. It is literally
everything at
McDonald's
dessert. Has a little.
Somehow their ranch
little
is dessert.
little extra sugar in it.
Facts, straight up facts.
Yeah. Why does this Coke taste so good?
They do have the. I'm not even a soda guy.
It's 110% different.
It is the best soda,
Yeah.
like the best Coke. Like there are people that go there just to get. I used to date this girl. Small fry and a Coke. That's like we went to McDonald's all the time for a small fry and a Coke, and I'm just like, what?
That's crazy.
So, so boxing,
yeah,
personal training, like, tell us a little bit about the boxing stuff. I mean, so I know that's earlier on in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I fell in love with boxing, and actually it was in high school. There's a gym. I went to high school in Winchester, and there's a gym called Max Conditioning. It was a little bit down the street from where I lived. Coach Jamie Hale owned it.
Jamie Hale.
Coach Jamie Hale, good guy, very knowledgeable, and a very successful amateur boxer as well. But he owned the gym, and I went in there. He ran a little boxing class, and I got in and fell in love with it. I was the youngest guy there at the time, I think, and didn't know anything about boxing. I had done martial arts just growing up as a child and a teenager and everything. Then played some sports, but other than that, I hadn't definitely done any like combat type sports. And I don't know what it is that exactly. I think it was one of those things that like is the problem I have is like I was so bad at it in the beginning that I was like, I'm just really gonna focus on being good at this because I'm so bad at it. So like, I mean, for probably like 2 solid years, I just got my ass handed to me, just nonstop. And then all of a sudden,
you hit that next level.
Things just change. I don't know if it's that or just like maybe enough new people came in.
And you're like, oh, good. There's other people that are worse than me now.
I'm not the guy that doesn't know how to box. But yeah, I fell in love with it there. And really like Jamie is an amazing strength and conditioning coach. So the workouts he would put me through, and that's really like where I fell in love with fitness in general, but even beyond boxing, like just.
It gives you a high. It gives you like there's something about finishing a workout that you're just like
just having your soul crushed and like you didn't die.
And then it feels like, especially if you do it all the time, it feels good to take a couple of days off. But if you take more than a couple of days off, like you just like, what's wrong with me?
And I get cranky. Like people will tell me like, oh.
It's like, did you work out this week?
I'm like, oh, no. It's been a minute. I've had to travel. But, and then after that, I went to, so I was an amateur boxer, and you pretty much just register to do that. So I was trying to get fights. I ended up switching. You can't be registered under 2 different gyms. So like, if you had a gym, I couldn't be an amateur boxer under your gym and then go box for another gym.
You definitely want to be an amateur boxer under the Transparency Fitness gym.
Let's do it.
We'll get a bag, a big bag and a small bag, the speed bag, I think they're called.
And then just hang me from the ceiling; it'll work.
Right. Okay, so you can only. I guess that makes sense though.
Yeah, because it'd be weird if you were like at 19 different gyms, and it's just paperwork wise. I guess is a hiccup logistically. So I ended up like. Just kind of having trouble getting fights or whatever, and ended up going to UK, box for UK. They have a club boxing team.
Okay, really?
And it was pretty much just got beat up for a little bit there too.
Back to getting beat up.
It was a little rough. And then so I never really had like a true like fight. It was just people bringing other people to the gyms. They call them smokers, but. Still good enough.
And then you decided to join the military?
Yeah, I joined the military. I did some boxing in there, but it transferred pretty much into like ground combatives.
Grappling.
So that was my first taste of like their mix of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Loved it. I taught a little bit of that at my unit. So that was super fun. And then after all that, and in between, I got more involved in the Brazilian jiu-jitsu side and then like the actual mixed martial arts of it all. Still loved striking. So like my game plan for like the mixed martial arts side of it was just being the dominant striker and then learning how to sprawl.
What's a striker?
It's just like a puncher.
Okay.
Puncher or a kicker most of the time. But I wasn't very good at kicks either.
Sounded like that's what it was, but I'm like, it can't be that. So like, it's got a fancy term to it. It can't just be hitting.
Striker. You wear a different shirt.
Yeah. Similar to a soccer position striker.
Yes, it's different. But so essentially I would just, and this was before like MMA was like huge. It was like, I'm trying to think who was who was actually in like the UFC when I first Ken Shamrock,
Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. Yeah.
This is old.
Yeah.
This is old.
Yeah, like he was. That's when he was rocking everybody's world. So it's definitely a different ball game now. You know,
He was like the Ronda Rousey, because like Ronda Rousey is definitely not the best female MMA, but when she first hit the scene, she was fucking people
she was on
up.
fire.
She was, and then all of a sudden, like these other girls started training, and she was like, "Oh shit!"
That's the thing about sports. The same thing in like Spartan Race. Like there in those couple years, like
because it's new, right? And so
exactly, or like I mean, Spartan Race wasn't new, but it was like it hadn't caught on as much. And I guess just with each year,
I didn't even know it was competitive till I would like come to classes, and you're like, and now I heard, I made worlds, and I'm like, what? There's like worlds, like it's like, oh. You're like kicking ass in this thing, okay?
And they grow each year, and they have the ability to.
CrossFit. Out. 2008, 2009, it came out, and really, I feel like in the last 3 or 4 years, it's just like.
And I watched the 2009. It was either 2008 or 2009 CrossFit Games on YouTube like a month ago, just randomly as it came up, and I was like, I could win that right now.
Well, yeah, things have progressed that much.
It was crazy. The craziest thing was like what people were wearing. Just like dudes just out there.
Should I go back and watch it just to see what they're wearing?
Like there's people in like just like cut up, like they look like they're playing a pickup game of basketball, like saggy ball shorts.
Oh my god.
Cutoffs. Like they
to the park and recruited a bunch. Hey guys, come try this.
Still great athletes. Not saying anything about that, but it was just like the difference in how much has progressed.
Well, the sport. Yeah.
Now there's not anybody out there with like 35 abs. You know, like they have abs on top of their abs, and their abs have
baby abs.
Email addresses for more abs. It's ridiculous.
It's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Except for like Matt Fraser, who dominates everybody and does. He has abs, but he's just that dude is just.
Yeah, he's just the.
I call him an engine that won't give up. I really look at you in many ways that way. Like I feel like you could be you just give 100%, man.
Yeah.
Like you just time. like you're just like, I may not be winning this, but goddamn if I'm not gonna finish it and give it 100%.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk away.
Do not get defeated, and I love that about you.
I didn't do my best. So yeah.
How long? So you were Army, right?
Army National Guard.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. And how long were you in for?
7 years.
7 years. Whew.
Yeah, it was good.
I did 4 in the Navy.
Yeah.
I was active duty. Okay, so I was the real thing. I don't know about this National
the
Guard bullshit.
Real deal.
Like I actually got on the boat. I went on deployments, and that's it.
Then I got off the boat.
I got off the boat, and I was off the deployment.
It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, it all works out the same in the wash. It's fine.
So how'd you get into personal training then? You kind of got your background in boxing.
Yep.
I'm guessing the personal training came after the boxing and military, right?
For sure.
And that's, I think, when we met.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't started the Spartan stuff when we first met.
Nope.
But it happened.
Because me and Aaron went on my first one.
Yeah, because I remember I just think of the overnight one, and I was like, I'm not going to that.
Yeah, we ran. I think we ran 3 races together, and I remember. So he ran a beast with me. I think it was our second one. It was in West Virginia, and that was the long one, the 13-mile.
You guys almost talked me into that, and I was not conditioned for it. I would have died,
dude. That one was because some stuff I will say like that they don't do that much in Spartan anymore. So there was a log carry, but like now they have like a smaller log that you can like cradle on your back and run with. This log was like a log, like half a tree. So like you had to this guy it, and it was just awkward, and like you're going up this. It was terrible. Like I remember being.
Didn't it rain too? Wasn't it
in West Virginia?
Did you have bad weather for that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it was tough, and neither one of us were really. Like we were basing it on the last one, which was tough, but still fun, and it was manageable. This one, like I remember, when Aaron got done, he was like, "Dude, at one point we circled like around by like close to where the cars were, where we parked," and he was like, "If I'd have had my keys, I'd have just left." And I was like, "You just left me out here in the bushes."
Well, he was training for CrossFit at the time, right? Like competitive CrossFit.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Aaron on here in a couple weeks. Actually, I'm getting together with him tomorrow. We're having coffee, and
it'll be a great one.
And I'm gonna solidify getting him on the podcast. I think he's kind of like, yes, I'll do it, but let's grab coffee and like talk about it. And I'm just like,
Fair
fine,
enough.
but
enough.
like we need you on the podcast.
Yeah, great dude.
Oh my God, he's gonna have some
great
stories.
dude, great experience, fitness wise, just person in general.
I mean, he was like one of my fitness heroes. You, Aaron, Chaz.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of you guys. I would seriously not be sitting at this table. We'll call myself somewhat in shape. But no, I mean, you guys had a huge influence in like, because when I started doing those classes with you guys, you know, that was like my first. It might be my first year of like for real like working out, like getting into the gym and actually learning like how like I knew the basics, but like you told me to do a dumbbell row, I'm like what is dumbbell row? Like I don't know what a fucking dumbbell row is. Like you're gonna. I remember Chaz would like send me
across the room.
Chaz would send me. Chaz.
Sucker.
Chaz would send me workouts, and I would be like, I know 2 of these things on this whole entire workout. Yeah, and I would literally be like YouTubing videos because I didn't know how to do it, and then I would like send Chaz a video, be like, did I do this right? And he'd be like, yeah or no, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you guys were huge influences. I loved your boxing class.
Good.
But so when did you go through the healing arts? Like when did you go through? Because are you NASM? You're NASM certified, and then do you have a nutrition certification as well?
I have precision nutrition.
Oh, are you level 1?
Yep.
Yeah, same here.
And then I'm a Spartan coach.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What'd you have to do for that?
You have to take a course, and then you have there was a couple web things. It's pretty much like any other certification.
Okay.
But the course was actually, out of all the courses I've taken and specializations and stuff, that was one of the, so you have to be a personal trainer to even take it.
Oh, so do you have to have a certification?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, do they only take like ACE or NASM or like?
That I didn't pay attention to.
Can I go get some like?
You might be able to be.
Because you don't have to.
You
don't have to have a cert, which is insane to me, right?
Yeah, that it bothers me.
Like I can tell you how to live a healthier lifestyle, and in some cases tell you the same information a doctor would tell you on like things to do in the gym. I probably have more knowledge than a doctor does when it comes to actually like physical exercises. They may understand the anatomy better.
Doctors will send people to personal trainers.
I mean, I've got 2 PT clinics that when they discharge people, they recommend if they're looking for if they were looking to further their healing and stuff, they send them to me.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely preventative.
We have, as personal trainers, we have a lot of power, and we have to be very aware of that and how we help our clients.
Like I would be happy if it was like a licensure.
I'd go take a test.
And I think it should be because like you can severely hurt people if you don't. 2, it's very easy to just like bullshit your way through everything and just take people's money, which is wrong, and it makes it harder for the people that it harder for people that are trying to do the right thing.
It would weed people out. If I had to go take a national board 100%. Test like a barber or a nurse or anybody else,
I'd be all about it.
As much as I would hate the studying and hoping that I passed.
It would prove that, and you'd pass because you'd put the time
if
into
I passed
the
NASM test, I would hope I could pass whatever local state.
And you would. It's just the people that don't want to put the effort into doing their craft, and then you're messing with people's lives. You're not just you don't just have a product. I mean, in a way, it's a product, but it's also someone's life. And their well-being that they're trusting.
Well, and I'm sure you never took on a client that, let's just say you've got a client that wants to be a better basketball player. And you're like, man, I know some of the fundamentals that they need to do, but they're like, I don't know my basketball-specific exercises. You go research it, right? If you decide to take them on as a client,
100%.
you get online, watch some videos, read some articles, maybe even buy a book. The baseball player that I'm training right now, I don't know a lot about baseball. I ordered this SAQ book that's given me actual drills that will be very specific to his sport.
And that's the thing to think about is like, so you'll break every sport down. Like you don't, most coaches aren't that sport. Like they don't know how to, they're not a professional athlete or a D1 athlete. They know how to make you move quicker, to make you be stronger. And then that athlete puts those skills to his sport. So knowing that is kind of the crucial piece as a trainer, because Like, I wouldn't say, well, I'm not a basketball player. I don't know how to train you. Well, I know how to make you jump.
Yeah, exactly. You know how to take all the sport specific stuff to make them better on the court, and then the coach gives them that next step.
They give their actual like dribbling skills and shooting skills, but you are making everything fire faster. You're making their whatever cognitive ability to connect your brain with those muscles, just those muscles that they need. And it's
amazing, like being able to talk for your body to understand certain muscles and how they work.
Oh yeah, with like
and
a
how
jump,
they just go.
To bring it back to the jump, like coming down and then you saying I'm gonna feel the ground that I'm getting ready to explode off. I'm gonna push in these certain ways. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, push off this, and like roll my feet this way, and all these different elements, and just saying that, and then you know as an athlete, you feeling that and feeling it and feeling it and feeling it and feeling it until your body just does it. So it's just like that. And that's kind of
which is a lot what we have to do when we're working with other just regular clients that they're doing a lat pull down, and you sit there and you poke them in their latimus dorsi, and you're like, do you feel this? Because I don't feel that muscle working.
You're not working it,
and
you're feeling your shoulders.
The mind muscle connection.
Yeah, it's extremely important.
Yeah, it's a real thing
because you're just gonna get a better workout.
100%.
And another thing that I get on clients is slowing it down. You know.
Yep.
People. That pull down. All right, I did 10.
Time under tension is the key. Time under tension, and you look like a dork.
Which Zane probably knows. Time under tension more than anybody else. Like this guy over here is trying to get ready for these strongmans.
Yeah. It's a lot of weird stuff, but it's exciting, fun. It's definitely the mind muscle connection is, I'm learning different ways of doing things and better ways of, really learning the technique and
taking the time, right? To actually like, you're not just working out, you're improving a skill set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that was really the funnest thing about the Spartan thing, which I'm sure you're experiencing now, is like just getting so deep into one thing to where you can just like every little thing you can kind of nitpick, down to like, where are my fingers at? What am I feeling in the tips of my fingers as I'm holding onto this bar, or, like what exactly am I doing when I'm holding the spear, and like everything, just so involved in every little tiny aspect. I think it's just kind of like a crazy journey to take yourself on, I think, in any sport, which, of course, like that's what professional athletes do. And I think a lot of times they do it without even knowing, just because they've done it for so long. And most of them are just freaks of nature anyway. But
hence why, we're all like on the cusp, but we're not.
Yeah,
there.
We're all pretty much like.
Yeah, I mean, I should have been in the NBA.
For sure. But yeah, strongman's something I've never really.
He got me into it. So, like, before Zane and when I moved into this house and set up the gym, I, like, looked over and I was like, oh, that guy's got gym equipment in his garage. Well, we're going to be buddies if he likes it or not. He doesn't have a choice.
It's going down.
And then I think I just invited you over for, like, a workout one day. Because I kept bugging you, and finally I was like, man, this stupid new neighbor will not, like, give up on me.
Well, no, I was excited to come see
I know you were. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah. As soon as the first time I saw you, you said, I'm going to kind of do the same thing like you, except bigger. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Okay. I can't wait to see it. And look where we are now. I mean, it's awesome.
It's good stuff.
I think strongman is a lot of what you were saying about Spartan is true for strongman too, where it's a new thing and people are just kind of getting to know it. And it's the boom in the CrossFit sport has kind of translated into strongman a little bit.
I think so.
And so it's
Lord, their weights are so heavy now.
It's giving us it's giving us for people that really like. To be honest, I don't give a shit about the NBA, NFL, like the major sports. But man, when you got me to go watch Eddie Hall, right? So we're sitting in the sauna one day, and he's like talking about Eddie Hall and Thor. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but we'll just call him Thor. And he's like telling me about all this stuff, and he's pulling up these videos and like showing me these, and I'm like I know I've heard of this sport, but I've never actually like experienced it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, same thing with Spartan. Like I've heard of it. I even thought about doing some races with you guys, but sitting down and physically watching, I'll get lost. because to me it's like
you can go down that rabbit hole.
These guys are way more impressive than an NFL player or like an NBA player to me, because they're pushing their body to a whole nother extreme. They're giving everything. They're giving 100% when they're out there, and I just respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, I'm definitely which is it's crazy. So like when I watch a sporting event like football or something, which I think any athlete that's a professional athlete is you're just
right. Of course,
you're amazing. Like the things you do with your body that like 99% of the people that are watching just don't even realize, because you make it look so easy, is ridiculous. But like I'll be watching people move more than the game, like just
how their body moves.
Yeah, just watching how like do you even like I'll just straight nerd out on it to like the other person or other people that are with me. And they're like, but like you didn't catch the ball. I was like, yeah, but he pushed off his non-dominant foot, turned around backwards, did this crazy move, lunged out with his left hand, and still got from A to B in about 14 seconds.
And his ACL still intact.
Yeah, and he's still alive. Like, that is amazing. And he's going to do it again. Like, immediately. It's like little stuff like that. That's
just where I think a lot of that, that's like a lot of those agility drills, and like, I think the biggest thing that, I mean, straight up, the two things that I think people don't do, and even people that are trying to be athletes, they don't do enough core.
For sure.
And I'm not talking about your pretty muscle cores. I'm talking about your whole damn core.
Yep.
And then they don't do enough stretching, like real stretching.
That was the biggest stretching, body work, and sleep was my biggest upgrade from like 2018
How boring
to 2019.
is stretching though?
I hate it.
It's uncomfortable.
And it hurts.
It
hurts for a reason, because I need it.
Like I'm doing bench or a bicep curl. It hurts, but it's like, yes,
you accomplishing something.
Yeah, but you're stretching and just like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, and because it can take weeks to stretch something, months, if you do it every day to finally get the stretch that you need.
And it's just the time that it's needed to put in. But like if you think about it, the way I tell like my clients and stuff, I'm like, so how long did you work out today? Like an hour and a half. How long did you stretch today? 10 minutes. How does that add up?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen tomorrow and the next day and the next day?
And that's why
if you keep giving 10 minutes and 10 minutes, and now your workload on your body is like 300 hours, and your recovery time and stretching and mobility is like 12 minutes. Yep. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get hurt, or you're just going to stay sore and your performance is going to go down. So yeah, it's which I'm just as bad. Like I preach the right thing, but I'm just
doesn't always mean you follow your own.
I
words.
try.
Well,
I try.
That's something that stuck out to me when you mentioned in 2019 that you did 30-something Spartan races in a year, and in combination with the other things, something about like 54. That's more than one event per week, and so obviously a little bit about recovery. So what would you, during that year, what would the course of a week be like as far as recovering and getting ready for the next weekend?
So I was getting pretty much a full athletic massage, deep tissue, like once a week.
Well, there's the excuse I need to be able to get a massage.
Now. There you go.
Josh does it. David needs to do it.
It was for sure.
Yeah.
And that was a lifesaver. And then those compression sleeves.
Oh, the ones on your leg.
Yep.
Did you get those?
Yeah, I bought those off Aaron.
Oh,
because I was like, man, I really need them for this year.
Are they with the ice that circulates the water?
No, there's no ice in them.
Okay.
I've used those before, and they're magical. They're just like a small down payment on a house. But
right.
These ones, they're still crazy expensive. So Aaron gave me a great deal on them. But they're just the compression. But like it works. They were lifesavers. And then just going into the gym with the intent of having an hour. I would have to go to the gym, because I couldn't do it at my house. It just wouldn't work.
Sit in front of the TV or something?
It'd end up being 10 minutes, and I'd get up and do something else.
You just weren't focused, probably.
Or work out again.
Right.
I'm just going to go do a small home workout.
Right, because the 2-hour one.
Exactly. You're supposed to be stretching, dumbass. So I would go to the gym and just stretch, mobility, band work, and then it's in my mind, it felt like I was doing more of a workout than just stretching, because the mental problem was like, if I spent too much time on that, then I wouldn't spend enough time doing actual workout. Then if you feel like you missed something or didn't do enough for the day or whatever, so going to the gym and actually being in the place
right
that you work out and do all your stuff, it worked a lot.
And what's the first thing you want to cut out? Stretching.
It's
like, I only have time for this.
My warm-up's gonna be shorter.
Yeah.
But then the answer is, if you hurt yourself because you did not stretch, now you're gonna have to take a month off, and now all you can do
or
is
longer,
stretch.
depending on what you did.
Yeah, on a good injury, you'll have to take a month off. So yeah.
Stretching.
So it was critical.
Yeah.
And it takes some know-how to know how to stretch right, which a lot of people.
Did you ever use bands?
I use a lot of bands, and I used voodoo floss as well. I did that before.
Voodoo floss. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
So it's super constricting, and you wrap it around. So like, I'd wrap it around my quads, and it's like it restricts blood flow. It's pretty much like a tourniquet. Okay. And then I would roll my legs with that on it, and then maybe do some lunges, something to like activate that muscle so it got even bigger. And then you take it off, and it flushes it all out.
Okay.
And that was great. It's somewhat uncomfortable, but
you're wanting to get as much fresh blood in there
correct.
as possible.
And like any like damaged crap that's in there, it's of course this could be all sorcery, but it worked in my head and made sense. So I would do like quads, calves. Those are the only two muscle groups that I would ever do with that. You can do it on your shoulders, and Aaron actually introduced me to that, I think.
Okay. So it was a lot of like trying to focus on those muscle imbalances so that they all were firing when you needed them to fire.
Yeah, and it was kind of like an automatic. It's one of those things where it's not a permanent fix, but if you were to say you did legs one day, and then the next day your legs are sore, if you voodoo floss them or voodoo wrap them and then roll them out, get it pumping and undo it, like it's night and day. The stiffness and pain goes away.
Okay.
And then also like your ass to grass without like actually like warming up with the squat. Like if you wrap them and then do squats with that on it, like just air squats, and then take them off. I mean, it's crazy the difference. And like it helped a lot with my knee pain. So I would wrap it.
Do you have knee pain?
Yeah, I have a Osgood-Schlatters disease. I don't know if y'all know what that is. So it's like
I have that too.
There you go. Lucky you.
Tall people problems.
Yep.
I'm
not tall.
I was gonna say, how'd you end up with
man. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. He's bald, but he's not tall.
Yeah, it's pretty much where I guess it's like your bone slips over your kneecap, and then it kind of just grows there, and there's a big calcium deposit. So like it looks like I have two.
Do you have to get
knees.
surgery to?
You can when you're very, very little, I think, but then after which most of the time they don't catch it because it's
so they can't go scrape it out and then let it grow back up.
I bet they could, but I bet it would not be worth it.
No, they normally don't do that. When I got diagnosed as a kid, they pretty much told me like, oh, it's a patella tendon issue. Your tendons aren't growing as fast as the rest of your bones, so you just have to outgrow this. And I had a bad injury once from it, and they're like, well, the good news is it'll never be as bad as this again, but it might still hurt.
Your leg's still trash.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was told it will just hurt for the rest of your life, and it's not gonna get it will look worse because it's gonna just keep getting weird tissue under there,
right?
But it's not gonna really do anything extra.
Do any damage to the body?
Yeah. Okay. Said just kind of get used to the dull pain.
Yeah, I'm all about sauna and stretching.
Yeah, I think I would love to do. I think sauna.
Well, you're always welcome to come use our sauna.
I believe in it.
But we go to the local YMCA has a big sauna, and it gets up to about 160, 170, nice. And I go in there and sweat it out for 20, 30 minutes, but I try to stretch when I'm in there.
While you're in there?
Beautiful. And it's going back to what you're saying recovery-wise. We did an insane leg day this week. I have knee issues, so I haven't done legs as much, so it should have left me crippled the next couple days.
And that loosened it all
and up. I was fine the next day. Like, I was really worried that I was going to be like that old person, like barely moving. Like, where's my cane at?
I definitely had those days just laying in bed.
But I think hitting the sauna. We also hit the cryo that day too. So we did the cryo and the sauna, and then I stretched in there. No leg issues
right
whatsoever.
As rain.
So and then Zane comes over and uses the ice bath.
Yep, big fan of the ice bath.
I did the ice bath. I would go to the gas station and fill my bathtub up with it. And then I bet my neighbors thought there was somebody just killing somebody.
See, you should have just gotten a deep freezer, and then you would have just alleviated all that
just
money
in there
spent.
screaming.
Yeah.
But then it's okay. It's just the initial.
It's like the first
plunge.
week though. Like I feel like after using the ice bath for like a week, I started to get used to it, and like I got more and more comfortable. I think because I just knew like a minute and a half in, once you submerge yourself, a minute and a half in, you're so numb that like it's just kind of like it's just that initial getting
initial
used
dip.
to it. Yeah, that initial dip. You're just kind of like,
Still doesn't make it any easier to get
in.
Well, you kind of mentally know what to expect, so I think that's how it makes it a little bit easier.
Right.
It's really. I think what it comes down to is like you don't want to put your dudes in there, like you don't want to put your sack in there.
Yeah,
because like I would just hover, like right there, like everything else is in almost, and I'm just like, man,
is there a way? Yeah.
I really don't want to put you guys in here. Like you guys aren't sore. Why do you have to? Can I just not? Can you just?
Have you not been working them out enough?
Oh,
come on.
No iced tea for Josh.
Yep. Yeah, it was a whole situation.
So are you still training for Spartan Race right now, or are you mostly what's your thing now that COVID just fucked it all up?
Yeah, man, it took it away, and it was at one side of it, it was devastating because like I was ready. I was ready to hit it all again, do it all over, and kind of make everything that I did last time better, collect everything I learned. Right. The Spartan season is also extremely long.
Really?
So when does
it start?
It runs from, and they keep, like with each year, they keep making it longer and longer. I was like, you guys, it's pretty much just all year now. So it was, I think the first race that like had to be run if you're going to compete in like the national series was in either late February or March. In 2019, and then it ran until either September or October.
Oh, wow. So how were you able to keep up with your clients and financially afford? I mean, I remember at one point in time, it was like multiple weekends in a row. You were gone.
Yeah.
You were literally gone every single weekend.
My, for 2 years in a row now, I think it was either 2 or 3, my clients have all got the clients and friends have all got together and chipped in and bought me the Spartan pass. So that pays for all your races all year. So I was blessed with that.
Oh, okay.
So that allowed me to run every race, and then I just had to pay for travel. So that was just super.
You do a lot of stuff here on the East Coast then, and then you just
because you have to run certain races. So like those like national tournaments. They are certain races. So
and I guess most of your clients were willing to work with your schedule. And
it was always on weekends. It was a grind.
I can only imagine.
It was like it got to the point where like so often I would take Mondays off, but then I worked. You fill up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Working all day.
Yep, working all day and working.
Make that money for that plane ticket and hotel.
Yeah. That was it.
And then your broccoli and chicken. Gotta have your broccoli and chicken.
Exactly. Which was another.
Well, nowadays you just travel with an air fryer.
True.
And you just go buy it locally.
Yeah. Yeah.
The air fryers changed the game.
It's very true. Very true. But yeah, it was definitely it was a thing. And it was one of those things where like it's like you definitely couldn't do it. Like, I mean, I couldn't do it. Like, the amount of money I did spend on that year, like, I wouldn't want to know the exact number.
Right.
And
like, it's almost like, could I make that much money again? And how did I do this?
Could I have bought a house in 2019?
Right.
I mean? Like,
but you made it to nationals.
Yeah, and it was worth it, but it wouldn't be something like, so we went and ran San Antonio this year, and it was just a completely different feeling. Which was good. Like it was, I went out there, and of course I'm going to do the best I can at anything I do.
We know that about you. At least I know that about
it's
you.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
But I didn't have the pressure of like having to place at a certain rank, right. And didn't have like all this pressure. I went out there and I ran, and it was great. It was good. It was kind of like having the little bit of the pressure off your back, So that was great.
Just doing it for fun.
Yeah. Of course, I'm still trying to beat everybody. But,
So you're gonna try to ramp back up then?
Well, I'm starting the fire department, so that'll definitely.
Oh, that's right.
Slow me down completely. Yeah, I start on Monday.
Oh my God, is it that time? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna focus on that.
That's a career move.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
But honestly, with the fire department, like once you get in on the fire department,
yeah, I'll still.
You really could. You could not only afford, probably more comfortably afford the moving around, but you could actually probably make the time, and you don't have to worry about clients. You just have to worry about saving people's lives when it's your shift.
That's it. Done and done. Right there.
Problem solved.
Too easy.
Start training the firefighters. Take their money.
For sure.
And David's camera is down.
All right.
It's just me, guys.
Sounds good. It's just you. It's all you.
Beautiful.
But I think we're coming to a wrapping up point here. Man, thanks for coming out, Josh.
Absolutely.
This is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
We're gonna have you on again, though.
Come back anytime.
Well, especially once we have some fire stories. We're gonna bring you on.
Oh yeah, it'd be great.
How you did some push-ups up the stairs.
Oh yeah.
Pulling
Dragons
yourself.
came out. It was
like
crazy.
Spartan Race. This is called the fire race.
It's just called life.
Yeah. This is called life in a. Oh my gosh.
I'd love to run a Spartan race in that gear.
We would love to be there for that.
Yeah.
And put you all over Transparency Fitness Live.
I think that'd be a thing.
We'll have to make the Mongolian race. You thought you handled the Spartan race.
Oh, yeah.
Genghis Khan, you've got nothing on me.
It's a whole nother level.
We
This
could
was
get
the
a
day.
GoPro on you somehow.
Oh, yeah.
And get that streaming.
This is the day that Josh died.
And it was a good day.
He was great. He did great. He tried. He
He did give
never
up.
quit.
His
He never
engine
quit.
gave up, but he mentally
He
did not give up.
actually died. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
well,
be about
good
that.
luck with the fire department.
Thank
Are
you.
you
thank
so you're here in Lexington?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. So
Yeah.
that's like a big deal, man. People
I know,
be flying
yeah.
from around the country
Sure
to
thing.
get on in
Yeah.
Lexington Fire Department.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Do you think your military career helped? Because that gives you some points too on your test. I
Yes. Yes, you get some preference points, I think is what they're called. So that helped. I think my military career has helped me with everything in my life.
Okay.
To some extent, and especially where I joined it young, pretty much right out of high school. It just kind of gave me my discipline. My things aren't always going to go your way type deal. You're still gonna, even in the best case scenario, you're still gonna have to work for everything. So a lot of just life stuff.
Yeah.
It's given me. So.
I know the issue. Cal digits came unplugged.
Huh?
Cal digits came unplugged. That's the issue.
Oh, are we down?
No, my mouse isn't working and your camera's off, and that's why.
Oh.
So give me a second.
Okay. That's all right. I mean, we're kind of wrapping it up, anyways.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, thanks for coming on. Like,
Absolutely, it
hanging
was
out
great.
with us, telling us about your experiences and your stories, and I know you're gonna have some more in the future.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
but guys, this is David and Zane and Dan, who you guys haven't met. A couple different co-hosts, you know. Maybe we'll bring Josh on as a co-host one day.
Yeah,
We got nobody else. Hey, Josh, you want to come hang out with me and talk fitness? And
I'm down.
Like, yes, I'm down.
For
Let's
sure.
talk fitness.
For sure.
I mean, that is my
out on
life.
it all
Like,
day. Yeah. It's
Like, I mean, now you have no excuse to ever get out of shape. I mean,
For sure.
you're a firefighter. You have way too much time to
100.
keep your. That's really why you're doing this. You mainly are like, oh, I can
Well,
work a few days and I can just work out all
it
the
has
time.
got to blend with that, so
Right.
you have to find the perfect situation, and there it was.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, thanks for stopping in, everybody, and listening to us. And look forward to our next episode. You guys have a great day.
Laters.
Laters.
See ya.